The look in Toby's eyes was not sane. It looked as if a demon had taken control over him. He yelled back and went to stab a knife into his father's chest, but he blocked him and grabbed onto his wrist. Once again, he went to shove him back, but Toby kicked out his feet in front of him and landed a hard blow straight into his face. His father recoiled and pulled his arm away from the cuff. His face, pulled his arms away to cuff his face. But Toby got back up and drove the knife straight into his shoulder. His father let out a loud cry and went to pull out the knife, but before he could, Toby threw his fist straight into his face. He began to pound his fist into his head. Laughing and wheezing, he cracked his neck and grabbed the knife and ripped it out of his shoulder. He drew it deep into his dad's chest. Repeatedly stabbed its torso, blood spilling out and getting splattered everywhere. He didn't stop until his father's body went still. He threw the knife over to the side and leaned over his body, coughing and painting. He stared at his mashed in face and sat there twitching until a low scream broke in silence. He looked over to see his mother standing a few inches away, covering her mouth, tears streaming down her eyes. "Toby," she screamed. "Why did you do that?" she cried. "Why?" she screamed. Toby stood up and began to back away from his father's bloody corpse. He began to back out of the kitchen. He looked down at the blood-soaked bandages on his hands and looked up at his mother one last time before he turned and ran out of the house. He ran into the garage and slammed his hand against the control panel on the wall and pushed the button to open the garage door. Before he ran out, his father's two hatchets that had been hanging on a tool rack above the table full of shards filled the brim with old rusted nails and screws. One hatchet was new, had a bright orange handle and a shiny blade. The other one was an old wooden handle, the old dull blade. He grabbed both and looked down at the table, and his eye met a box of matches, and under the table was a red gasoline tank. He held both of the hatchets in one hand and grabbed the matches and gasoline before running out of the garage, down the driveway, and up to the street. As he approached the street light he could see out his own bedroom window. He heard police sirens into the distance. He turned around, and the red and blue flag came rushing down the street. Toby stood for a second before he pulled open the cap of gasoline tank and ran down the street, spilling gasoline all over the street after him. He turned to run into the tree. He poured the last bit of gasoline out before he reached into his pocket and pulled out a match. He struck it against the box, nearly dropped it, and instant flames burst around him. The fire caught onto trees and bushes around him, and before he knew it, he was surrounded by fire. The silhouettes of police cars were visible through the flames. As he backed away into the forest around him. He looked around, but his vision was blurred. His heart was pounding, and he closed his eyes for a moment. This was it. This was the end. Toby felt a hand on his shoulder. He opened his eyes and looked over to see a large white hand with long, bony fingers that rested on his shoulder. He followed the arm that was attached to the hand up a towering dark figure. It appeared to be wearing a dark black suit, and its face was completely blank. It towered over Toby's small frame, and it looked down at him. Tendrils reached out from its back. Before Toby knew it, his vision blurred, and he was surrounded by the sounds of ringing in his ears. Everything went blank. That was it. That was the end. That was how Toby Rogers died. A few weeks later, Connie sat in her sister's kitchen. Her sister Lori sat next to her, drinking a cup of coffee. About 3 weeks ago, Connie lost her husband and her son. A few weeks before, she lost her daughter in a car crash. Since then, she moved on in with her sister. The police were keeping her busy, and they had just finished cleaning up the case, and the story had been released 2 weeks ago, and the focus of the world seemed to have shifted to complete new stories. Lori switched on the TV to a news broadcast on the TV. The news reporter began introducing the new headline. We have breaking news. Last night there has been reporting of murder of 4 individuals. There are no suspects yet, but the victims were a group of middle schoolers who had been out in the woods late last night. The kids had been plunged and stabbed to death. The investigator discovered a weapon at Thanksgiving. Appears to be a crime scene, which appears to be an old dull blade hatchet, as you see here. The picture changed to show chef's photos of the weapon, exactly as it was left on the crime scene. Investigators brought the name of a possible suspect, Toby Rogers, a 17-year-old boy who a few weeks ago had stabbed his father to death and tried to cover up his escape by setting a fire.